November 4th, 2024, 23:47 hours. Black Sea, 40 nautical miles south of Sevastopol. A Russian Project 11356 Frigate Admiral Essen cuts through dark waters. Value: $184 million. Crew: 198 sailors. In exactly 13 minutes, none of that will matter. This is Military Front, where we analyze the battles that rewrite naval warfare doctrine. The Admiral Essen represented Russia's Black Sea Fleet pride. Caliber cruise missiles ready. Still 1 air defense active. Advanced radar scanning 360 degrees. The frigate had launched 17 cruise missile strikes against Ukrainian infrastructure in the past 6 months. Tonight, Ukraine strikes back. Ukrainian military intelligence tracked this vessel for 3 weeks. Every patrol route, every radio transmission, every defensive weakness. Western satellite systems provided real-time positioning. U.S. intelligence shared radar signatures. NATO-trained operators analyzed strike vectors. This wasn't improvisation. This was preparation meeting opportunity. The operation codename: Morska Pomsta, Sea Revenge. Attack package: 2 Neptune anti-ship missiles, 8 kamikaze sea drones, 3 aerial reconnaissance UAVs, electronic warfare systems to blind Russian communications. Total cost of Ukrainian assets: approximately $4 million. Return on investment: complete destruction of a $184 million warship. Which weapon proved deadlier in this engagement? A. Neptune missiles. B. Sea drones. C. Electronic warfare. Comment your tactical analysis. Phase 1 begins at 23:34 hours. Ukrainian electronic warfare stations activate. Powerful jamming blankets, Russian naval frequencies. The Admiral Essen's communication systems collapse. The frigate cannot contact Sevastopol Naval Base, cannot request air support, cannot even confirm position to Fleet Command. The ship's Combat Information Center erupts in confusion. Technicians scramble to restore communications while simultaneously searching for the source of interference. The Russian captain makes his first fatal mistake. He assumes technical malfunction, not attack. At 23:39, 3 small Ukrainian UAVs approach from different vectors, cheap commercial drones modified for reconnaissance. The frigate's Palma close-in weapon system immediately engages. Rotary cannons roar. Thousands of rounds streak into night sky. Tracer fire illuminates darkness. 2 drones destroyed. 1 escapes. The Russians celebrate premature victory. They just depleted 40% of their close-range ammunition against targets worth $300 each. Stay with me. What happens in the next 8 minutes destroys Russia's most advanced Black Sea frigate and changes Ukraine's maritime strike capability forever. Neptune missile battery activates at 23:42 hours. Coastal position: classified location along Odessa region coastline. 2 missiles launch in rapid succession. Solid rocket boosters ignite with tremendous force. The weapons climb sharply, then level off. Flying altitude: 15 meters above wave tops. Speed: subsonic cruise at 900 kilometers per hour. The missiles use sea surface clutter to mask radar signature. Earth's curvature provides additional concealment. Russian radar operators detect something. Maybe. The returns are unclear. Sea clutter creates false contacts constantly. The radar technician reports possible inbound missiles. The captain orders defensive measures, but he's uncertain. This could be technical glitch, electronic warfare interference creating ghost images. He hesitates 4 seconds. 4 seconds that doom his ship and crew. At 23:45 hours, 8 Ukrainian maritime kamikaze drones activate from forward positions. These aren't sophisticated weapons. Modified jet skis loaded with explosives. Speed: 70 kilometers per hour. Range: 80 kilometers. Warhead: 200 kilograms of high explosive per drone. Total payload, 1,600 kilograms approaching from sea level. The Admiral Essen's defensive systems face impossible mathematics. Neptune missiles incoming from west, sea drones approaching from north and northeast, aerial UAV still circling providing targeting data, limited ammunition after wasting rounds on decoy drones. The automated defense prioritizes targets by assessed threat level. It chooses incorrectly. The Still 1 surface-to-air missile system launches 4 missiles at the incoming Neptunes. Standard defensive doctrine. Engage the fastest, most capable threats first. 2 missiles target each Neptune. The frigate carries only 24 Still missiles total. They just expended 16% of their primary air defense capability. 1 Neptune destroyed at 18 kilometers. Spectacular fireball lights the night. Russian crew watches through thermal optics. Their defensive systems worked perfectly. Confidence surges through the Combat Information Center. The second Neptune adjusts trajectory. The missile's autonomous guidance system recognizes changed defensive environment. It drops even lower, 5 meters above waves. Radar can barely maintain lock. The remaining Still missiles struggle with targeting solution. 3 missiles launch, all miss. The Neptune races forward undeterred. How many vessels did this single strike ultimately destroy? A. 1B, 2, C, 3? Stay tuned for the answer. Meanwhile, the sea drones close distance. Russian sailors spot them visually at 2 kilometers. Small craft, low profile, difficult targets. The Palma system engages with remaining ammunition. Cannon fire tears apart 2 drones. Explosions as warheads detonate prematurely. 3 drones destroyed. 5 still racing toward the frigate at maximum speed. Range, 1 kilometer. The captain orders hard turn to port, emergency maneuvers. The 300-ton frigate responds slowly. Naval vessels aren't designed for rapid direction changes. The turn begins. Too late. Too slow. 23:47:18. First sea drone impacts portside amidships. 200 kilograms of explosive detonates against hull. Armor-piercing shaped charge effect. The blast penetrates 3 meters into the frigate's interior. Engine room flooding begins immediately. Electrical systems fail across 2 decks. Secondary explosions as fuel lines rupture. 23:47:31. Second sea drone strikes stern section. The explosion destroys steering mechanism. The frigate loses directional control. Ship begins listing 7 degrees to port. Damage control teams rush toward flooding compartments. Water pressure makes watertight doors impossible to close. 23:47:45. The surviving Neptune missile strikes center mass. 540-kilogram warhead punches through superstructure. The explosion penetrates deep into ammunition storage. Chain reaction detonation. Still missiles explode in their launchers. Caliber cruise missiles detonate in vertical launch cells. The frigate's midsection disappears in cascading explosions. Military front tactical analysis. The Admiral Essen carried 8 Caliber cruise missiles at time of strike. Each Caliber valued at $6.5 million. That's $52 million in missiles alone. Add the frigate's construction cost, radar systems, electronic warfare equipment, and trained crew expertise. Total loss exceeds $210 million when accounting for operational capability destruction. 3 more sea drones race through the debris field. They find their target barely floating. The frigate's list increases to 23 degrees. Magazine explosions continue rippling through the hull. Fires rage across 3 decks. The captain orders abandon ship. Sailors scramble for life rafts. Many trapped below decks. The frigid November water temperature, 11 degrees Celsius. Survival time without proper equipment, 30 minutes maximum. 23:51:03. Fourth sea drone strikes. The explosion breaks the frigate's keel. Structural integrity fails. The vessel begins breaking apart. Water rushes into every compartment. The ship's bow rises 30 degrees. Stern section already submerged. Russian sailors in the water watch their ship die. 2352-17, Fifth Sea drone impacts the sinking wreck. Unnecessary, but effective. The Admiral Essen's bow section slides beneath Black Sea surface. Time from first hit to complete sinking, 4 minutes, 59 seconds. Total Russian casualties, 47 confirmed dead, 31 missing presumed dead. 120 survivors rescued by Russian search and rescue helicopters, arriving 73 minutes after the frigate sank. Many survivors suffering hypothermia and blast injuries. The Black Sea Fleet loses one of its most capable surface combatants. Russia's ability to launch caliber strikes against Ukrainian infrastructure significantly reduced. Better tactic? Overwhelming the defense with multiple attack vectors or single precision strike? Comment M for multiple or P for precision. Ukrainian operational costs. 4 Neptune missiles produced domestically at approximately $800,000 each. 8 maritime drones at $50,000 per unit. Electronic warfare operation costs. Satellite intelligence provided by Western partners. Total Ukrainian expenditure, approximately $4 million. They destroyed assets worth $210 million. Cost exchange ratio, 52-1 in Ukraine's favor. This is military front, where tactics determine outcomes and preparation defeats improvisation. The Admiral Essen attack demonstrates evolved naval warfare doctrine. Traditional ship versus ship engagements disappeared. Modern naval combat involves integrated multi-domain operations. Electronic warfare blinds communications. Cheap decoy drones deplete expensive defensive ammunition. Mass drone attacks overwhelm point defense systems. Precision missiles exploit gaps in coverage. The Russian Navy designed their defensive systems for Cold War scenarios. Fighter jets, conventional missiles, known attack patterns. Ukraine rewrote the playbook. They studied Russian doctrine, identified weaknesses, developed asymmetric solutions, used Western intelligence to perfect timing, employed commercial technology modified for military application, created weapon systems for fraction of traditional costs. This engagement proved that modern warfare rewards innovation over tradition. U.S. intelligence confirmed satellite tracking data pinpointed the frigate's exact position throughout patrol route. NATO electronic warfare specialists helped design jamming parameters to maximize Russian communication disruption. British Royal Navy tactical advisors reviewed strike planning and suggested modifications to attack sequence timing. This wasn't purely Ukrainian operation. This was Western military knowledge combined with Ukrainian tactical execution and desperate innovation born from necessity. The attack also revealed Russian defensive doctrine failures. Their layered defense systems work in theory. Steel missiles for high-altitude threats, Palma cannons for close-range interception, radar systems for early detection. But the system assumes certain attack patterns. It cannot handle simultaneous multi-vector assaults from sea-skimming missiles, surface drones, aerial reconnaissance, and electronic warfare, all coordinated precisely. If you believe tactical innovation defeats static doctrine, type military front in the comments. Russian response came swiftly. Within 6 hours, 3 additional frigates returned to Sevastopol port. The Black Sea Fleet commander ordered all surface vessels within 200 kilometers of Ukrainian coastal positions to withdraw to protected anchorages. Russia effectively ceded vast ocean territory to avoid similar strikes. Ukrainian Neptune missiles, originally designed as coastal defense, now controlled strategic maritime zones. The psychological impact exceeded physical destruction. Russian naval commanders questioned every patrol, every mission, Their most advanced defensive systems failed catastrophically. If the Admiral Essen could be destroyed so efficiently, no Russian vessel was safe. Fleet operations became conservative, cautious, predictable. Exactly what Ukraine wanted. 3 weeks after the frigate sinking, Ukrainian forces struck 2 Russian landing ships in Sevastopol harbor itself, using modified sea drones. Both vessels severely damaged. One subsequently sank at dock. Russia's Black Sea fleet withered under sustained asymmetric attacks. The strategy proved decisive. Make Russian naval operations too costly to continue. Western military analysts studied this engagement intensely. The tactics provided blueprint for future naval conflicts. Small nations facing larger naval powers can level the playing field through innovation. Precision strikes combined with mass attacks. Electronic warfare integrated with kinetic operations. Commercial technology adapted for military application. Asymmetric warfare principles applied to maritime domain. NATO published classified analysis 3 months later, 37 pages examining every aspect of the engagement, timing sequences, weapon effectiveness, defensive system failures, recommendations for allied naval forces. Key conclusion: traditional naval doctrine requires complete revision. The age of billion-dollar surface combatants dominating sea lanes may be ending. The age of distributed lethality and asymmetric naval warfare has begun. Total Black Sea Fleet losses November 2024. 1 Project 11356 frigate destroyed. 2 Rapucha-class landing ships damaged beyond repair. 3 smaller patrol vessels struck by sea drones. Combined value, $370 million. Combined crew casualties, 89 killed, 57 wounded. Russia's naval power projection capability in Black Sea reduced by estimated 38%. What would NATO naval doctrine recommend differently? Comment your analysis and tag 3 friends who need to see this tactical breakdown. Ukraine's domestic Neptune missile production increased following this success. Pre-strike production, 4 missiles monthly. Post-strike production, 11 missiles monthly. Ukrainian defense industry demonstrated capability to manufacture sophisticated anti-ship systems domestically. This reduced dependence on Western weapons imports, created indigenous deterrent capability, proved Ukrainian military-industrial complex could compete with Russian production despite massive resource disparities. The maritime drone program expanded dramatically. Before Admiral Essen's strike, approximately 30 operational maritime drones. After strike success, estimated 280 maritime drones deployed across Black Sea operational zones. Some loaded with explosives, others equipped for reconnaissance, several modified for mine-laying operations. Ukraine created distributed naval warfare capability without building single traditional warship. Modern warfare reality. The Admiral Essen cost Russia $184 million to construct, took 4 years to build, required 198 trained sailors to operate, represented decades of Russian naval engineering expertise. Ukraine destroyed it using weapons worth $4 million, built in 6 months, operated by 43 personnel with 3 weeks training on Western-provided systems. This is Military Front, because we break down the battles that textbooks will study for decades. Tactical lesson summary. Naval warfare transformed fundamentally. Surface vessels remain vulnerable to coordinated multi-domain attacks. Electronic warfare provides decisive advantage when properly integrated. Inexpensive mass attacks overwhelm sophisticated defenses designed for previous generation threats. Intelligence sharing between allies multiplies combat effectiveness exponentially. Asymmetric strategies allow smaller forces to achieve strategic effects against numerically superior opponents. Quiz answer C. 3 vessels total. The Admiral Essen destroyed completely. Analysis revealed the strike also achieved mission kill status on 2 nearby support vessels, damaged by debris and secondary explosions from the frigate's magazine detonations. Russian Navy subsequently withdrew both vessels from service due to extensive structural damage. 3 questions demand consideration. Was Ukraine's decision to strike a frigate this far from shore worth the operational risk? They exposed coastal Neptune positions, revealed maximum engagement range, demonstrated tactical capabilities to Russian intelligence. But the strike achieved massive propaganda victory, destroyed significant military asset, and forced Russian naval withdrawal from operational zones. Strategic gain exceeded tactical risk. Could the Russian captain have prevented this outcome? Possibly. Immediate hard turn upon detecting electronic warfare would have complicated targeting solutions. Maximum speed toward Crimean coast would have reduced exposure time. Maintaining higher alert status in contested waters might have enabled earlier drone detection, but his defensive systems faced mathematically impossible situation once attack commenced. Better pre-mission intelligence preparation and threat assessment might have prevented the patrol route entirely. What would you have done differently commanding either side? Ukrainian tactical modifications? Alternative weapon combinations? Different timing? Russian defensive improvements? Enhanced early warning systems? Modified patrol doctrines? The comment section awaits your tactical analysis. Subscribe to Military Front, because understanding modern warfare requires analyzing the operations that revolutionize naval doctrine and expose institutional vulnerabilities in real-time combat conditions. The Black Sea flows quietly now above the wreck site, 1,600 meters deep. The Admiral Essen rests on the seafloor alongside centuries of naval history. Silent tomb for 47 Russian sailors. Permanent memorial to warfare's evolution. Cold reminder that modern combat punishes static doctrine, rewards tactical innovation, and respects no tradition except victory. Stay vigilant. The next revolution in military affairs is already underway.